Hello all, my name is Rebecca Lapointe and I presented at today's Tuesday webinar to discuss the U.S. Department of Labor's new proposed white collar exemption regulation. So to recap what was discussed today, these proposed rules were issued on August 30th, 2023. They would increase the minimum weekly salary to qualify for the Fair Labor Standards Act executive, administrative, and professional white collar exemptions from $684 per week to $1,059 per week. They would also increase the annual salary threshold to qualify for the highly compensated employee exemption from $107,432 to $143,988. And finally, they would establish automatic increases to these salary levels every 3 years. The proposed rules do not include any changes to the duties requirements for any of the white collar exemptions, and there are no changes for employees whose exemption status is determined by only a duties test. So this applies to doctors, lawyers, and teachers, for example. So as to timeline, the proposed rule will be open to public comment until November 7th, 2023. We do not know exactly when the DOL will publish a final rule or when a final rule might go into effect. To estimate the time between the 2019 proposed rule and the final rule was approximately 10 months. However, this could occur sooner, could occur later. We're not quite sure. There also may be some legal challenges to the rule if it is ultimately adopted, just as there were in 2016. In 2016, the Department of Labor issued a final rule increasing the exempt salary threshold to $913 per week, and the District Court for the Eastern District of Texas issued a nationwide injunction prohibiting the DOL from implementing this final rule, and the rule was formally rescinded. As to some key takeaways that we discussed during today's webinar, if the proposed rule is adopted, employers that use housing or meal allowances to meet the New York salary threshold will still need to ensure that the new federal salary threshold is met because the federal minimum salary does not count housing or meal allowances. Also, New York does not set a minimum salary level to qualify for the professional exemption. So if the proposed rule is adopted, employers will need to review the salary levels of professional employees to ensure that they meet the new federal threshold. Also, New York's minimum salary level to qualify for the executive and administrative exemptions is currently higher than the $1,059 per week set by the proposed regulations in all regions of New York. However, the Department of Labor did indicate that the actual salary threshold would be based on earnings data as of the date that the final rule takes effect. So the salary minimum may ultimately be higher than the projected $55,068 or the $1,059 per week. And it could potentially land closer to $60,000 annually. So again, these are proposed regulations. Nothing has gone into effect yet, but it could be helpful to think proactively, start thinking about what employees may be affected by this change, and reach out to legal counsel with any questions.